Hi, this is Mike making my video to add to my collection. Today's 3rd of January 2025 and it's 11:30 p.m. So, anyway, you know, uh, I'm just kind of doing my thing. I went shopping today and got me a nice little crucifix. It's I don't like to see Jesus being tortured, but it's kind of a Catholic thing. I'm a pagan priest. I'm a sworn in priest, uh, or reverend, or whatever you want to call them. And then, of course, confirmed, and I'm into science and technology for the most part, but then I like the creative side too. The daughters of the daughters of Sophia, and of course, I don't know, the sons of God. You know, the daughters of Sophia. So you got the Holy Spirit of Sophia. It has to do with your mind, the Sacred Virgin, and then of course, I got a lot of sacred virgins around, but they're princesses, nymphets, basically. But anyway, long story short, life has been really good for me as I accomplished a lot of stuff over the last week, and kind of went through a dark night of the soul type thing, but then I got kind of shake things up a little bit and reorganize my life. Um, so anyway, basically, I'm figuring out how to do this editing, and of course, I'm trying to get to the point where I write a book. There's Jesus, with the Gospel of Thomas, and of course, the Book of Thoth, and of course, like the Emerald Tablet. So it's really, and if you really want to knock it down a notch, it's really the seven spiritual laws of spiritual success. And then you could probably go off on that to another tangent. Maybe um, like the Emerald Tablet. But then it's like the Emerald Tablet, the Egyptian stuff, and then that goes on to you know, if you really want to get interesting, what's really going on, I'd go back as far as the book of Enki. Uh, that's really got the secrets in it, and the book of Enki. And if you read that, it tells you the history of things, and Ninurta and Enki and his brother Gilgamesh, and the tales of Gilgamesh and all that. You go right down the line, and the world religion has pretty much started in that region of the world, and modern day Iraq. And so anyway, long story short, they got guys that look like Santa Claus and Papa Smurf and stuff like that. So you know it's really I know Papa Smurf and he's huge. So but AKA Santa Claus, I can relate to Santa Claus. And there's that, and then the whole mystery of the reindeer and them eating out of a bag of mushrooms. He's handing them out, and even like the monks, or whatever, the shamans, what they would do is piss in the snowbank, and people would eat that piss because it's got shrooms in it, and they get high off of it. And then, of course, if you look at, there's pictures of Nebuchadnezzar, aka Gilgamesh, and anyway, his eyes are really big, and he's got a beard, and he's like tripping, and that's funny because he's spun, and he's got them big eyes. So anyway, there's that, and then it goes on from there. So yeah, you got the world religions. The seven world religions were founded from more or less from the people that came from Planet X and Nibiru, and they came from Planet X, and then there's Seppo. Seppo's more or less the moon, and then Nibiru is where the giants came from, and then of course Mars, the lizard people, reptilians. So there's that, and then so on and so forth, and then you got like the happy medium, which is the Earth, and I'm all about going to another planet, but I think what I can do is just put my goggles on, VR stuff, and then I can play games. I almost got put on the Star Wars Imperial Mothership. Darth Vader was trying to put me on it or get me into it, but I've seen him. He's very real, and of course, the Star Wars Imperial Mothership is real. So, really, your mind is ultimately the most important thing you've got, and your body has to support the mind. So, you have to have them both, the mind body uh, correlation. So, anyway, that's how that works. So, I'm thinking about doing the Catholic thing, but I did the Mormon thing, and then this Joseph Smith, they swing off his nuts too much, and that's kind of where I got out of it. And of course, Jesus, I have nothing wrong with him. He's a powerful man, and he's white. He's got golden brown hair, and he's got darker eyes. And the goddess of the night, I met her. I can't remember her name, but she came to me, and she's beautiful. She's a dark brunette with dark irises. So anyway, I seen that, and then I just know what Doctor Shrinker's all about, and he's a madman with an evil mind, and this and that. So I shrunk this woman, and she was stuck inside my DVD player. So Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, or the Candy Factory, and then you go from there, and then you got Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, and then they get to the end of the whole story, and they find the Wizard of Oz, and then he's basically this guy in this little house, and he's pulling strings. So it's a movie, but it's an idea, it's a concept. But the thing is it's very real to people. So yeah, like I say, Bigfoot, Goliath, giants. I've sat by them. They put their arm around me. They talk to me sometimes. Uh, Goliath is a friend of mine. He's a nice guy. And of course, let's see what else. I went to concerts. I've seen all kinds of musicians. I had a friend of mine. He was a musician. His name is Leonard Hall, and he's from the band Ministry and this and that. I'm not really interested in going to concerts. I mean, a fuck fest and this and that. I kind of want to go to this one next summer, but it's a nudist beach. That's part of it, and then I got to take my camper there. And I've had people steal stuff along the way, and people, it comes back to you in a better form, a lot smaller, uh, a lot more compact, and more refined. So people steal your ideas, and that's really the way it is anyway. Is knowledge should be shared. It shouldn't be hoarded and kept, But you know, so I'm more or less a king in my own realm. God's mightier than me. I've met him, and he's incredible, and I'm very closely related to him. And of course, the Apostle Paul. That's only two that really stick out to me. Other than that, uh, I've seen mightier people than me, and I've seen people that are lesser than me. But all ultimately, at the end of the game, we all have a perfect self. The highest self, and I know my highest self. It's basically exactly like me, but it's probably about 30 to 40 feet tall. I would say on a good day, 30 feet tall and powerful. So I know that's who I am. Uh, 30 straight up feet. So I might be 40 feet tall and bulletproof, I guess, at some point. But, I met Samson. He had Down syndrome, and he was powerful. He had arms that were the size of my legs, and he had a conversation with me. So the thing is I call him Bubba, and then of course there's that, and let's see what else. He had dark hair, black hair, and Abraham Lincoln, Theodore Roosevelt. Let's see what else. Paul Walker, Katy Perry, uh, Brittany Murphy's cousin, John Travolta's sister, more or less, had a relationship with her, and then I like Brad Pitt. He died just recently, but there's K-Pax, that guy that's in that. He's in that game, but he's pretty cool. I don't know. Usually, what happens is people, when they get to the top of their game, people are always trying to take them down. I've been persecuted everywhere, but it is what it is. So yeah, I've been stabbed to death almost, beat to death, shot at. shot. I've been shot at, maybe shot, but I don't know. There was no evidence of it. But somebody took a big giant revolver at somebody is Satan. I've seen him a couple of times. And let's see. But he's got his problems. But I've seen. I know what his whole agenda is. What what his mind is about. And he's got his son, and his son looks like Dennis Rodman. He's got blonde hair, and you know, just an average, perfect kid. Alexander in the middle. Then there's Winnie the Pooh and Tigger and Two and Piglet, and the tail of Pooh. And I met somebody that could have been Buddha, pretty much was. And then let's see here. Never really met Jesus, but I've seen a lot of people like Jesus that are close. And Jesus himself, I haven't met him, but I do respect him. I read his writings. The Gospel of Thomas. And here's a story that's true. Thomas was the one that was crucified. It wasn't Jesus. And Jesus was beaten, but Thomas was the one that was the sacrificial dove in the situation. So yeah, Thomas is the one that took the hit, and that's his twin Didymus Thomas. That's his twin brother. So and then of course Judas. I believe Judas was his cousin or something like that, and then John the Baptist and this and that. So I kind of know who I truly want to be, but it's just like I know that's an image I haven't really figured out. I'm cool with who I am, though. I know like I'm just a baby in the scheme of things. So when I get get to the point where I figure things out, um, I guess the real person I am. I got a baseball cap and big eyes and a dark beard. That's when Goliath seen me. You can call me Buzz. But anyway, that it is what it is. I mean, I got all kinds of aliases and handles and this and that. But sometimes people that are closest to me treat me the worst. So it's just the way it is. Yeah. So Furbies, basically Pikachu and Pokemon. I met both of them. They're the most adorable little creatures I've ever seen. They're humanistic. And of course, they had patches around their eyes and tan fur, real lightly tan fur, like almost like a tennis ball. They're just little kids, probably 5 and 7, and their brother and sister. They had made little vines to put around their neck and stuff. I was gonna touch them, but then they hissed at me. One did. They hobbled off, and then I came back, and then I could hear them arguing out in the distance. I didn't see them, but I threw some taffy out so they could have it, but they never. I don't know. They probably never took it. But their brother and sister whopping each other, fighting and stuff. It was cute. So anyway, there's that, and I've seen all kinds of beautiful women. I mean, just endless. I've been involved with them in this and that. Fat ones, skinny ones, old ones, young ones, rich ones and poor ones, crazy ones. You know, blind, crippled, and crazy, 18 to 80, blondes, brunettes, redheads, models, millionaires, movie stars, and mental cases. So anyway, the women thing, I'm kind of giving that a break. Ron Jeremy, he got put away for a while, but he claimed mentally insane. So he's probably in some sex offender group somewhere. I would imagine in Pelican Bay or somewhere, but he's kind of the know-it-all about sex. So I like the guy, but I got my shit's about the same size as his, and of course I've had a lot of people come back from the past and the present and the future. My daughter Michelle seems to be the one that's got the most brains in the operation. She's got a master's degree. And Amy's a good kid too. She looks like Katy Perry when she dyed her hair black and she was younger. So they're just people doing their thing, getting through life. And like I say, I'm into science and technology and creativity. So I got to get going. Over and out.